Feedback, the most precious gift, something super valuable, but one of the reasons none of us feel like it's a gift or think it's kind of a gift like getting deodorant or something like that is because most of the time we're not getting feedback at all. We're getting a variety of other things that are not about understanding the impact of our behavior. They're about the other person kind of forcing on us what they want us to know. So let's think about a couple of alternatives that are not feedback. So the first and most important thing to say is judgment is not feedback. And judgment is when we act as if we own the truth. We are some objective source of reality, and we judge whether somebody's behavior is good or bad. So judgment can be negative, probably what we think about when we hear the word judgment. So it can be, that presentation sucked. That was boring. That was the wrong time to say that. Those are all judgments, or you were rude, or you rushed your presentation. All of those are judgments. You can usually find a judgment because it's full of adjectives like rushed. But not all judgment is negative. Some judgment is positive. That was awesome. You're so creative. I love how you collaborate. But judgment, either way, is not very useful, and it's not very constructive for our development. What we know is the person either liked it or didn't like it, but not what we did and why that worked or didn't work. So avoid judgment at all costs. The other problem with judgment is that judgment makes us defensive and reactive. And positive judgment kind of just rolls off us like, wow, great job. And you're like, thanks. It's not very sticky and it's not very valuable. So we want to avoid judgment. There are other alternatives to feedback that are not as much of an issue as judgment. They're okay, they're positive, they're useful, but they aren't the same and they aren't as valuable as feedback. One of those is instruction. So sometimes we think we're giving feedback, but what we're really doing is telling someone the right or wrong way to do something. So, you need to put more visuals in your slides. That's instruction. Or we might give advice. So when I'm doing a presentation with a lot of data in it, I always send a pre-read with the data so that I can streamline the presentation slides. Well, okay, that's advice. It's okay. It's not a bad thing necessarily, but it's not the same as saying, when you make this choice, when you put 6 text slides in a row, then I find myself tuning out. And feedback leaves room for subjectivity. It leaves room for the fact that your truth and your experience is maybe not the truth. There may be reasons why they needed 6 text slides in a row. So when you're thinking about feedback, one of the reasons you probably don't value feedback so much, or you've tried to give feedback and got a bad or emotional reaction, is that what you were giving was maybe judgment or instruction or advice. And we need to understand that feedback, we don't have to give feedback all the time, but when we do, it's the most precious thing because it gives people access to the impact of their behavior, something they could never know or understand if you weren't willing to share it with them. How can you find a situation this week? Try first, give 3 pieces of positive feedback, not praise, not just good job, but here's what you did, and here's the impact that had on me. And then find a few situations where maybe you could give some feedback about a negative impact something had, and then mix it up and say, where do I actually want to give instruction? Where do I want to give advice? But just in all cases, at all costs, avoid judgment.